Welcome to this very special edition of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike from Hull KR Shirts, and today I'm going to take a look at some players who have played for Hull Kingston Rovers and for Hull FC. On Wednesday the 7th of October at our monthly Heritage Night, Keith Pollard delivered a presentation about some of the players who have played for both Hull Kingston Rovers and Hull FC. Now, if we'd have spoke about every single player, we'd have been there all night with how many there is. I think there's about 180 or something like that. So what we did is we took a handful of those players and we spoke about some key players who have played for both sides. Obviously, probably the most noteworthy one would be Clive Sullivan. You know, you think of the amount of appearances that he made for Hull FC and also for Hull KR then later on in his career. Came to Rovers and scored 100 tries. I love learning about Clive, and I think he's such a big profile player, especially sort of being a captain of Great Britain as well. So there's some really big names who have played for both of the Hull clubs. So what I'm going to do today is I'm here to do a little bit of a follow-up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through some of the shirts that I've got worn by players who have played for both Hull Kingston Rovers and for Hull FC. So I've got 4 shirts to show you, and the first one is Paul Cooke. Paul joined Hull KR in 2007 from arch rivals Hull FC. Now, out of all of the players to have played for both clubs, he's probably the one that joined in the most controversial circumstances. Now, I'm not going to get into how and why, what happened. All I will say is if you want to know, read his book. It's a really good read and it gives you a really big insight into how and why the move came about. So Paul joined in 2007 and he was a part of the squad that maintained the Super League status for 2008. The shirt that I've got here is Paul's 2008 home shirt. It is a match-worn shirt that was worn by Paul throughout the 2008 season. Paul did miss a few games towards the beginning of the 2008 season. He received a 6-match ban for his transfer from one side of the river to the other. But things, really got kicked on in 2008 and then obviously in 2009 with our most successful season. Paul went on to make 61 appearances before leaving Hull KR in 2010. A couple of mentions just from his career at Hull FC. He was a part of the 2005 Challenge Cup winning squad in Cardiff. Paul scored the winning try on that occasion, and he also played in the 2006 ground final against St Helens at Old Trafford. Another player that joined Hull KR from across the river was Shaun Briscoe. Shaun made the journey across ahead of the 2008 season, and he would remain in East Hull until 2011. Shaun went on to make exactly 100 appearances for Hull KR, which is an absolutely great achievement to get to those triple digits. He was such a big part of our squad from 2008 to 2011. Probably one of the bravest fullbacks Hull has ever seen. I think that's a sort of a fair statement to make based on my opinion there. He was an international player. He played for England before he came to Rovers. In 2009, he represented England again in the Four Nations whilst he was at Rovers. So again, that's such a great achievement individually for Shaun, but it was also great from a Hull KR perspective to have somebody representing the English national side. Unfortunately for Shaun, he did miss out on the 2005 Challenge Cup final with Hull FC. He did travel down to Cardiff, but he got appendicitis, and unfortunately, he wasn't fit for the game. And yeah, it was such a massive shame for Shaun for him not to play in that game. He did, however, play in the 2006 grand final for Hull FC against St Helens alongside Paul Cooke, who we've also just spoken about. Absolutely a brilliant player. This shirt here is Shaun's 2011 away shirt. This one was worn against the Catalan Dragons in France. And if anybody's noticed, they can have a bonus point for noticing that the S has been applied on his shirt upside down. Now, as a kit geek, I find that quite quirky and I quite like things like that. So, thought I needed to point that one out. Now, moving on to players who moved from Hull Kingston Rovers to Hull FC. Galea. This one probably hurt the most, I think. From my perspective, I don't know how you fat guys feel, but in my opinion, when Ben signed for Hull FC, I found that quite hard to take. I completely understand why he would do it. But, for somebody who joined Rovers in 2008 and played all the way through to 2012, formed a very good partnership in the second row with Clint Newton. I can close my eyes and I can just picture them diagonal runs that he'll be, running onto a lovely little pass off, and then he would just breeze through the defence and score a try. You could see it coming, but defenders just couldn't stop it. And I think, Ben Galea as a player, for me, certainly in the Super League era, probably goes down as one of the greatest to have played for Hull KR. As I've said, he joined in 2008. He made his debut in the same game as Shaun Briscoe, as we was just talking about a second ago, at the beginning of the 2008 season. Again, he was a part of that 2009 squad, along with Paul and with Shaun, who finished 4th in the Super League, which is our best sort of finish in the Super League, and it was such a great achievement that year, for these guys. Ben joined Hull KR from the West Tigers, so he joined from overseas into East Hull. At the West Tigers in 2005, he won the grand final in the NRL, which is a great achievement for any player. So I'm sure that's something that he will be immensely proud of. He joined Hull FC in 2013 after his contract at Rovers had expired. He was there just for the one season. I think he made somewhere between sort of like 10 to 15 appearances for Hull FC. But it goes down in the records books as being somebody who played for both sides. The shirt that we've got here, so this is Ben Galea's 2011 home shirt. So proud to have one of Ben's shirts in my collection. He's somebody who, when I first started going to Rovers, I would watch and I would just be in absolute awe of his ability. Absolutely incredible player. And lastly, for our little video, we're going to take a look at Scott Taylor. So Scott Taylor made his Hull KR debut in 2009 after coming through the academy setup at Rovers. He played for Hull KR from 2009 through to 2012. He really got his feet under the table, sort of the back end of 2011 and then into 2012. Thought he had some really, really good performances, especially at the Magic Weekend in 2012 against Hull FC. He was excellent that day, really, really good. Taylor, a boyhood Hull FC fan, left Hull KR in 2012 to move to Wigan, where at his first season at Wigan, he won the Super League and also the Challenge Cup. After a couple of years at Wigan, he had a bit of a spell on loan with Salford before he moved to Hull FC. He's still at Hull FC now, and he's made himself a Hull FC legend. He's won the Challenge Cup with them twice now, 2016 and 2017. He also is an England international, represents England as the national side. From 2016, he was a part of the 2017 World Cup squad as well. So that's a player that's come through the Hull KR Academy, who's gone on to make those international honours. So that's been everything for this video. It's been a joining up project. As I say, Keith Pollard delivered a very good presentation on Wednesday evening, talking about various different players, far more than I've mentioned in this little video on Wednesday. I believe that a gentleman called John Mooney supported Keith with popping all the information together for him to deliver that presentation. So I'd just like to express my thanks to Keith and to John for helping me and providing me with the stats that I needed to be able to deliver this video to you guys today. I'd also like to thank Craig and Jodie, who are part of the heritage team at the Community Trust at Hull KR, for all of the work and all the effort that they put into delivering a heritage project for people like myself who are trying to learn more about our club every single day. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you'd like to watch some more shirt related content, feel free to check out Hull KR shirts on YouTube. I do a fortnightly episode taking an in-depth look at a new shirt every fortnight, so if you'd like to check that out, please do.